Okay, if you're working on building an app, I know that you get these incredible ideas and you immediately start putting them into action, building them, handing them off to a team member, or maybe even hire a dev agency to get started on building this idea. Does it sound familiar? Well, in this video, I want to show you a powerful tool that will save you both time and money when you are implementing new features for your app. The tool is called Framing. And our team originally learned this from Ryan Singer, who is the author of a book called Shape Up. Ryan spent over 2 decades working at a company called Basecamp, helping build out their product, leveraging small teams. So if this sounds familiar, maybe there's just a handful of you, or maybe it's just you working by yourself. But this solution works great for a team of 1, where you have maybe a few people helping you. It helps cut through all of the chaos and sort of the blurriness that comes with an initial idea, and helps bring a tremendous amount of clarity before you actually jump in and start building. Later in this video, I'll show you a step-by-step process of how our team frames up projects before we jump in and do the work. At our team, we love clarity. We thrive on it. And when you have clarity, it creates a ton of speed. So when you have something that's super clear, people can understand it, and then we can go and execute as fast as possible. But where projects go wrong is when there's not a super high level of clarity in the beginning. Maybe we think we're clear, or we have some kind of mock-up or idea of what we want, and we just jump in and start building it, and we haven't really thought about where does this project start, where does it end? That's really what framing does. It creates a frame by creating boundaries around the project. Where is it starting? Where is it ending? What are we actually trying to accomplish here? Look, we're living in a world where our attention is split so many different ways. So this process helps you pause and take a second to go deeper and figure out what are the real problems we are trying to solve, and what are those outcomes that we're looking for. Here's how it's going to help you save both time and money. So when you can clearly define that problem and then what is the outcome that you're looking for, and you can articulate that as best as possible, it's going to allow more people to have input on better solutions. When we do this, it helps us avoid diving directly into talking about solutions. Look, I'm guilty of this as well. Sometimes you see a problem and you immediately just jump into what is the solution going to be. But solutions are going to look something like, oh, we need a mobile app, or I need a dashboard. I need this report to come out. Those might be the solutions that we use to see that outcome. But if you can split the outcome from the solution, it'll create even more clarity on what we're trying to achieve. So first, we're going to take time to frame the problem. You can use powerful questions to help peel back the layers and help reveal the real problem that you're trying to solve. Here's a couple great questions to get you started. What is not working the way that it should? Where is time being wasted or duplicated? What's the real friction behind this request? Where are things slowing down? Where's that friction in the business? Why now? What has changed recently that now this is the time to do this thing? You can even dive deeper into other questions like, who currently feels the most pain with this problem? Is it the end user? Is it a client? Is it a team member? What's happening today? And why does it currently fail? If we solve this, what would look different or feel different? And one other thing to identify is this one single problem, or are there multiple problems here, and maybe they need to be divided into different projects? Okay, so now we've listed out a few different problems that we're seeing that are causing this project to be necessary. And now we can focus on the outcomes. Again, don't jump into a solution right out the gate. The idea is to get to those deeper kind of business value outcomes that we're going to see when this project is successfully completed. Think about clear, measurable outcomes. Something like, okay, we had 10 steps in our onboarding process. Now we'd like to get that to be less than 4. We need a dashboard or a report. You can say, we'll get clear numbers that tell us X, Y, and Z. By doing this, it gives a lot of flexibility and a lot of room for interpretation for the team that is actually going to be building this. So first we went through some of the problems that we want to address. We then listed out the outcomes. And the third step is to list all the things that we're not going to be doing. You'll find that when you start to say what we're not going to do, it actually gets really clear on what we are going to do. Some examples might be that you're not going to have this feature work on mobile. It just isn't necessary to fix the problem with that outcome. We may say that, hey, we don't actually need any UI changes for this. All of this is going to help protect against that inevitable scope creep that somehow always happens inside of a tech project. The founder maybe has a grand vision of all the things that this is going to be and do, but then the team that's actually building it is actually thinking of something much simpler, and this helps bring those things to the surface way in the beginning so we can be very clear and set expectations on both sides. Nobody likes surprises, right? Okay, so when you're done listing out the things that you're not going to do, we're going to move into a fourth section, which is defining the appetite. We like to think of projects in terms of 1, 2, 4, or even 6-week sized projects. Humans are generally pretty bad at estimating, and so when you get down to estimating days or weeks, you're probably going to miss it. By estimating in weeks, it helps time box things with a bit of margin. Now, setting the appetite up front is kind of the opposite of how projects typically go. Normally, a person comes up with a whole list of requirements, and then developers go off and come back with, some figure, a number of hours or cost that this is going to take, and hopefully you figure out some sort of agreement between those two things. But if you have the person who's paying for it, who's investing in this problem and this project, come up with that appetite, it helps the rest of the team see how important this is, because you'll find that there's typically a 1-week version of something, and there could also be a 4-week version of the same thing. But if we know kind of the importance and how much this is worth right up front, it helps us set the scale of that frame of how much effort is going to go into this. We like to present this in a Notion document where we set up the problems and then define the outcome, then go to what is not included, and then eventually explain the appetite. It should be written in a clear, simple, non-technical way where anyone on the team can pick this document up and read it top to bottom and have a really clear idea of what this project entails. And that's a super quick overview of framing. It's really about bringing a tremendous amount of clarity to your projects that's going to help you save time and money. Plus, you could probably use framing for any project inside of your business. It's a great way to create clarity for any type of team, whether it's technical or marketing or sales. If this was helpful, drop it in the comments below. And if you'd like to learn more of the best practices of how to build custom apps, please subscribe. See you on the next one.